cool, serious video. This video isn't sponsored by Squarespace.
So, what did you just watch? A lot of you must be asking that, because I've not really explained it, and the truth is I don't know how to explain it, but in a way I do. You're gonna come along with me on the journey of discovering what this video is, but all I can tell you right now is that the video title is Boot, it's unlisted, and it was published by the YouTube channel Fallout London, which is the YouTube channel of an upcoming Fallout 4 story mod. Let's get into it, starting off with the picture. So, first of all I want to talk about the fact that in the middle, I might be the only one noticing this, but just between the two characters' legs is some sort of mouth shape. And along to go with that is lots of beams of light, or at least something. They're lighter parts of the video. This makes me curious because there's three major lines in the middle that go right off the edge of the screen, and they all connect up to the mouth. And I might be the only one seeing this, but if you take them and add the mouth shape onto it, it kind of looks like some sort of face, especially with the chairs in the background, kind of acting as eyes in a way. It adds a bit more of a fear factor onto this, but it's disturbing still. I don't know, I might be the only one seeing this, but I had to cover it quickly. But now I think it's time to go on to talking about the characters. We'll start with the man on the right. He is holding a violin, and he's playing it, as you can see his hands in the video playing it. And he is moving his leg, kind of to keep up with the beat. And some may think, well, he's playing along to the song, isn't he? But he's not. As you can see with the way he's bobbing his foot, he's definitely not playing along to the song. And the way he's strumming his fingers. And also I'd like to mention both of the characters are wearing full white. Complete white. And I'm not sure what this is meant to signify. The character on the right has white gloves on as well. It's hard to see, but you can see the slight colour differences between the black and the white and the kind of reddy, pinky tones. But this is making me curious. The woman on the right is wearing full white yet again, but this time in the form of a dress or a robe. I'm just assuming that it's a woman and a man. It would make logical sense. Some sort of husband and wife, you know, the wife's wearing the dress, the man's wearing the trousers and t-shirt. I don't know, but that's what I'm assuming it to be. And the one thing I would like to notice on the woman is her left or right, depending on how you see it, her hand that you can see looks kind of weird. It might not be her hand, but it's kind of got two tongs kind of as a hand, and also they're a bit more of a metal-y kind of colour. Again, it might just be me, but that's kind of I don't know, I might be reading too far between the lines in this video, but it just makes me so curious. Why is her hand got a tongue kind of shape, and is that her hand, or is it something else? Is it someone else's hand? Is it something else's hand? There's so many questions, and what I would like to quickly cover is the fact that with horror and fear, a lot of the time giving something context takes the fear away. But the reason I find it so disturbingly fearful is because there's no context. We have no clue what this video is. This is just an unlisted video that you've got to use a specified URL for, and you can't, like, there's no context. And it's just so terrifying. I don't know. I might be the only one with the context thing, but it just it rubs me the wrong way. It doesn't settle me. But let's move on to the actual motion of the picture. We covered the kind of characters and weird things about them, but let's move on to the actual motion of the video and see what happens when you play the video. Some of you might have already noticed some of the things. So we're going to start off by watching the video at a slower speed. This is at 0.2 times of the speed it was originally playing at. So you could say it's slightly slower, but I'm doing this so we don't miss anything. And as you can see, as I mentioned before, you can see the leg bobbing up and down. It's very slow, but you can see it moving. You can't really see anything change on the woman, but you can see the man bobbing his leg up and down. But now I've freezed the video here because this is really interesting. There's a lot to dissect here. The man is not a man, he's a TV. Okay. He's a TV. Very normal. So, he's an old TV, a very old TV, like a 1950s style TV, which would make sense because remember this is Fallout London. And also the furniture is quite 1950s style-ish. It's kind of old, it looks older, but it would still be kind of modern. You know what I mean, it was still a thing back then. And the TV looks 1950s style, as I said. It might be newer, 1960s, 70s maybe. I'm probably way off. I'm not around from around those times, so I don't really remember what a 1950s TV looked like. But it's an old TV, we can all agree on that. And also I would like to say with the woman, thankfully she does have a normal face, but like in a way I didn't expect her to have a normal face, which is weird, but I didn't expect her to, especially after seeing the man with the TV. But one thing to confirm that it is a purely normal face is that if you look closely on her face, one of the beams of light is like in a position that kind of makes the shadow of her eye like pop a bit more, and you can see her eye there. The rest of this freeze frame, there's nothing else that interesting. So yeah, let's just continue playing the video. So, another freeze frame. The reason I paused it here is because I've not actually noticed up until this point, but the TV has had things on it. For example, right now it's got a cross on it. Beforehand it had like a kind of, you know, like a tally mark thing. It looked like it was a prison style because it was dirtier in a way. It kind of, I may be interpreting this weirdly, but it kind of gives me the idea of like he's trapped inside this TV. His head is, there you go, you can see the prison bars. If you're watching, if the video's playing right now, you can see the prison bars things. Kind of gives you this idea of he's trapped inside this head, which is not him, obviously, because it's a TV. It's a weird thing to interpret, and it's hard to interpret. And it really doesn't make any sense, this video. As I've said multiple times before, I just don't get what's going on here. But I can break down it-ish, and I can get ideas of it. And my idea is that he's kind of trapped inside this TV. His head is kind of trapped in there. and it may be signifying he's kind of like being caught up in the new technology, which is related to Fallout. They got caught up in the new technology of nuclear weapons and stuff, and they abused them and they fired the nuclear weapons, which I feel like that might have something to do with it. Some of you might be screaming at your screens like, it moves twice, it moves twice. Well, it may move twice, but I don't think that's anything much. It's just, it moves twice. There's nothing special with it. But as it ends, as you can see there, it's a TV kind of off thing. You know what I mean? It looks like you're turning an old TV off. Which, again, goes back to the old TV. And maybe I'm kind of thinking of like an unbreakable loop. It's constantly going, so we're watching a video of him on him, if you know what I mean. His TV on his head is the TV we're watching on. I know this is all weird, but like, we've got to try and make some sense of it, otherwise there's no point for this video. And I don't really know like what's going on. I can relate it to certain things like the nuclear weapons I said, but it really just, if anything, makes me excited for this mod, because that is creative. I don't know what's going on there. That's creativity at its finest. But I think it is time for us to move on to the audio, because some people that I've showed this to have been saying, look at the audio, it's certain things sped up. And we're going to confirm or deny whether it is that thing sped up. I'm first going to let you listen to it at 1.87 speed, because that is a speed I've kind of found as a happy medium between like the normal speed and the sped up speed. And people are saying that if you speed it up it sounds like a song from Fallout, and I'm like, no it doesn't. But let's see what you think. Here, have a listen. Where do we start with that? I don't know. The answer is I purely don't know. Apart from the two words or phrases I heard. The first one was, it was now I'm not gonna bother with that. I don't know what it is. It's probably just me hearing something weird. So yeah, I'll just leave that. But I mean, if you guys can come up with something, some reason as to why that is, or dissect it in the comments down below, that would be really cool. But the second phrase was, you're now my best friend, which I believe is relating to the TV thing, because the TV is obviously attached to him and he's gone kind of insane. He's like, you're now my best friend, which would explain the tone of the song. You're now my best friend is like, you're stuck to me, so I'm now your best friend, yay. That kind of insane thing going on. But this is all based off my interpretation of the TV thing. I might be completely wrong. I probably shouldn't have based a lot of this video off that one kind of theory. But I mean, you guys might have seen other things in the video, and if you have, then I would love for you guys to comment down below. And if you did enjoy the video, it would be really nice to see a few subscribers, because right now, I'm at 0. This is gonna be probably my first video on the channel, and it would be really cool to see some support for what I'm doing. So I hope you have enjoyed today's video, and if you really want me to, I will make a part 2 of this, and possibly part 3, you know, and furthermore. And if this video deserves a sequel, in the sequel I'll put the link to the original video, because it's unlisted, and I'll make it so everyone can see it and dissect it in their own time rather than having to watch my video. But anyway, I hope you have enjoyed the video, and I will see you next Saturday.
send shivers down your spine. Shrieking skulls will shock your soul, seal your doom tonight.